To coordinate any group project. To coordinate any group project, I give you 3 tools. One is called a communication plan, one is called a responsibility matrix, and one is called a Gantt chart, G-A-N-T-T chart. You can find templates for these in the e-reserves if you want to recreate the templates. You can also find templates for these, frankly, if you search the web. They're commonly used project management tools. Communication plan outlines the people involved in your group, how often you will communicate with each other, what media is preferred for communication, oral, phone, email, in person, and how quickly anyone should expect a response. If I email you on Thursday, do I expect an email response within 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours? Set reasonable time limits for yourself based on your own access to the communication media you'll use. If you only have email access once a day, I would keep that in mind as you plan your communication plan. Come to mutual agreements. I will hold you at the end of the semester to these communication plans. If there have been problems in your group, I will ask you, didn't you agree that you would talk every day, every other day? Did one or more of your group members not make themselves available to talk every day, every other day, or email every day, every other day, or meet as a group once a week to work on the project? You will probably have to meet outside of class time, at least some of members of your group together in order to get the project done. The responsibility matrix is a way to divide responsibility for a complex task. So let's say you know that one of you is going to be responsible for polishing the report in its final form. That because of the exam schedules, one of you has the most and best time available in the last week of class to work on, for example, the table of contents, the title page. On a responsibility matrix, you would list all members of your group in one column, actually across columns, and you would list in the first column the tasks that must be completed. The person who is responsible for executing those tasks should receive an E in their column next to that task, so next to table of contents. If group member number 2 is responsible for that, they should receive an E in their column. Again, I really encourage you to look at the e-reserve readings, which will give you an example of this. If you're not responsible for executing, you're still responsible. Your responsibility is less, and that responsibility is coded differently based on the examples in the e-reserve, and I hope you'll read those e-reserves in order to understand the full range of coding for a responsibility matrix. And lastly, a Gantt chart gives you start and stop times for all of the individual tasks on your responsibility matrix. This is important because a group project typically requires that more than one thing be done at any one time. That while someone is researching project X or subject X, that someone else is calculating the numbers for section Y, and someone else is drafting up the letter of transmittal and the first part of section Z. These things happen simultaneously. You can't wait for every task to be done before you start the next task. And a Gantt chart gives you a visual map of the relationship between simultaneous tasks in a project as complex as the one you're working on in this class. The same is true when we're talking about the communication plans, Gantt charts, and responsibility matrices for the video projects in this class. I'm getting tired of talking.
"57 minutes is pretty good."